Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of The Real Deal. So this week we're talking about the state of our market. That's a very common question that comes out in every consultation that I have with my clients. And there is no surprise. The market is absolutely bananas right now. There is a ton of demand and there's just no supply. So this obviously all started last year around this time, coincidentally around the COVID era. So when this started happening around this time last year, I remember I had clients that were under contract, and I didn't have many cancellations. I was very fortunate. There was a lot of agents that lost a lot of, clients that were under contract. I was fortunate to only lose one client. The rest of them, they trusted the process. They stayed all the way through, and fortunately now they've made a great profit on their home. Since then, what's happened is sellers just continue to not want to put their houses on the market for a lot of different reasons. But one of the big ones was still COVID. There were still a lot of sellers that were, worried about having buyers go through their, doors, and that isn't what happens. You have hundreds of people going through your doors. So then, obviously the interest rates being so low, that just kind of created the perfect storm. So it is absolutely a seller's market. Sellers have all the, they have the ball in their court. Sellers are able to pick the terms. Buyers are having to pay money above appraisal in order to get their offers accepted. Now, what does that mean? So when you're buying a house, typically you're going to have a list price. Then you're going to have what you're willing to finance. But at the end of the day, the amount you can finance is determined by the appraiser that goes out to your house and evaluates the property to determine the value. And right now, in order for buyers to get their offers accepted, they're doing one of two things. The extreme approach is waiving their appraisal contingency altogether. And unfortunately, that could be a lot of money that you're going to end up paying out of pocket in addition to your down payment and closing costs. And that is a common theme that I am seeing right now in our market. And then the second is offering to pay money above appraisal up front. So willing to cover X amount of dollars above the market value of the home. And at the end of the day, the conversation that I have with buyers is, yes, you are going to pay above market value for this house. That is what it's going to take to get your offer accepted in this market. Anywhere between 2 to 5% is what buyers are having to do. So what you say is, hey, I'm gonna, let's say the house is listed at $350,000. You offer $370,000. You say I'm gonna pay $15,000 above appraisal in the event of a low appraisal. That is a very common type of offer in this market. Now, what is this gonna do? Well, prices will continue to rise. Sellers that have properties, they will be able to continue to capitalize on that and get huge profits on their investments that they made years ago. As far as buyers, what does that mean for buyers? Buyers are going to have to save more money. There's really no way around it. In order to get your offer accepted, the old traditional way of, getting closing costs covered, that's been out the door for the year, for the last year. That's not even been a question. But in order to buy a house, it's going to take more than just your down payment. It's going to take more than just your closing costs. So the conversations that I'm having with clients right now is save as much money that you can while we're in this home buying process. Maybe we're going out there and making a couple offers in this process. You want to save as much money as possible so that way you can compete against these cash buyers, against these investors, against these out-of-state clients that are coming in and buying houses. And interest rates continue to be so low where the demand is just through the roof still. I have many clients that approach me, and not all of them are ready to go, for that obvious reason, because they don't have the funds that are necessary to be able to compete with some of these more aggressive offers. And unfortunately, the conversation is, hey, you're going to have to wait to save some more money to be able to compete in this market, because gone are the days when houses stayed on the market past a weekend. Even the houses that need work, they sell. There's no such thing as getting a good deal. It's impossible. And even getting closing costs covered, it's just not going to happen. And that's a conversation that I have with clients every single time I meet with them. Say, hey, you know what? Right now, it's not the time to get closing costs covered at all. And, if you're going to offer, you have to be willing to pay money above appraisal on your listing. It's not impossible to get your offers accepted. I've been very successful in helping clients get under contract with the strategies that I implement. Just the other day, I had a client that came to me that had been working with another agent, and they had submitted 20 plus offers. And the unfortunate part was that this agent just wasn't up to speed with the market that we're in, didn't understand some of the trends, some of the tactics that are used to try to help you get your offer accepted. And we were fortunate to get our offer accepted after 3 tries. That's one of my biggest, I guess, I really feel good about that one, especially because, as it turns out, this young couple is good friends with my little brother. So it was kind of like my moment, like my time to shine. So obviously that story is going to go back to my little brother, and I was pretty excited about that. So I definitely wanted to show out for them. But what does that mean? Well, it means that the market will continue to go up. It's not going to slow down. Demand is too high. There is too many investors, big hedge funds coming in. A lot of people think it's these out-of-state buyers. It's not just out-of-state buyers. They're a small percentage. It's big hedge funds that are buying our real estate market and treating it like a stock market, right? They're buying and they're investing. They're holding. It's not buying flips. And the thing is, cash buyers are paying above, list price. So you got to have a good, strong finance offer in order to be able to compete with these investors. But it's not impossible. You can absolutely still get a house. Housing will become a rare thing. To be able to own a home in this market in the next couple of years, it's going to be a rare thing. So, in Europe, for example, this is a conversation that I had with AZ. You don't own real estate in Europe. In Europe, everything's owned by the old families. Everything's owned by big companies. Everybody just rents there. It's kind of the normal. It's the standard. And obviously in some of the hot markets in our country, that's the case, right? New York and San Francisco. Eventually, I have the feeling that that's our market. Our market will eventually be a place where a lot of it's being bought up by investors. And unfortunately, a lot of first-time home buyers are going to get squeezed out. So get your hands on real estate if you're a first-time home buyer, and have some land, own the property. And if you're a seller, take advantage of this market. Take advantage of these low interest rates to give you the opportunity to upgrade. Take advantage of the opportunities that you have staying in your home, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month after closing, giving you enough time to find another home. But it's definitely not impossible. It's just going to take a much more creative approach than what you're used to sell your house and buy, or just buy your house in general. Hopefully this information helps you guys. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, drop a DM, and I'll be more than happy to assist you and give you a hand on getting you into your next home or your first home. Take care, guys.